Hazard Senior Commissioner. The Honorable Jerry Gormley, Chairman. Members of the board include Gary Shaw and Al Daniel Sr. Our matchmaker for this afternoon's big main event is Bill Benton. The chief physician in attendance at ringside is Dr. Frank B. Doggett, along with Dr. Charles E. Wilson and Dr. Ronald Wood. Our judges, Barbara Perez, Paul Venti, and Melvina Lathan. The timekeeper to bell is Arthur Spell. Counting for the knockdown seconds, alternate referee Earl Brown. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of the scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout, referee Tony Perez. And now, my good friends, introducing the principals. First in the red corner, wearing the multicolored trim trunks. He weighed in at 211.5 pounds. Now, this young pugilist has 11 wins, 4 losses, 2 draws, with 5 knockouts. Now, he is a native of Allentown, Pennsylvania, and making his home in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome aboard Sean Hart Attack. Hart. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the gold trunks with the black trim. He weighed in at an even 230 pounds. He is undefeated in 32 pro bouts with 26 big knockouts. The former two-time New York Golden Glove champion. He is a native of the Bronx, New York, and now making his home in Greenwood Lake, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Lou, the Bronx Bomber Savarese. Savarese.
Fellas, you already did your instructions and the way. Give me a good, clean fight, and I will not bother neither one of you. 2 things you must remember. Obey my commands, and most important, protect yourself at all times. Shake hands. Good luck to both of you.
All right, and we have to mention the fact, though, we talked about, has Savarese been tested and as he moved up in competition, Terry Davis was supposed to be the opponent today, which definitely would have represented a move up in class to Savarese. He hurt his shoulder, had to pull out, and in comes Sean Hart on short notice. Hart, we last saw him on Heavyweight Explosion, went the full 8 rounds with David Tua, so that's a bit of an endorsement of Hart's chin.
I think he also took that fight on short notice. So he's Mr. 911.
Savarese's last fight right here in Heavyweight Explosion, October 6th against Olean Alexander, stopped him in the 6th round. This is his 4th fight in 1995. Will no doubt be his last, because he's scheduled to fight January 12th, 96 at Madison Square Garden.
Sean Hart is trained and managed by his father, Carson Hart, and they were both very concerned coming into this fight that Lou Savarese would use dirty tactics. They cited the Nathaniel Fitch fight.
Had to be one of the most bizarre fights in boxing history. Took place in Pennsylvania, biting and clawing and scratching.
Well, Carson Hart cited 35 fouls by Lou Savarese in that fight. But sometimes that's what happens if you get a fight that gets out of control and the referee doesn't take control of the fight. It snowballs.
And that was the only time that Savarese had to go the full 10 rounds. He said fights go to distance, but that was the only 10-rounder. Of course, that was back in April of '93. This is scheduled for 10 today. Hart had a bizarre ending to a fight back in May against David Isaguirre in New York at the Armory. Finally was declared a no contest 2, where he stepped on something on the ring apron, slipped.
He said it was a very small venue with a small ring, and the judges had their notebooks and pens on the ring apron, and he stepped outside and he twisted his ankle.
Only in boxing. Under a minute to go in round number 1. We're scheduled for 10. I was about to say not much going on, and there's Savarese with a takedown.
I don't know, he hit him with an uppercut though too.
He gets a warning from referee Tony Perez.
And he just took the knee.
And I wonder if...
Which is probably a smart move. He's trying to recoup because he got hit with a short uppercut, charging in with his head down.
I also wonder, though, if he hurt his leg going down, that same leg that he hurt in the eyes. No, he's dancing pretty good now. Trying to stay out of the way of Savarese.
Tell you what, late last night, Sean Hart was studying for his take-home final. He's a first semester law student at Temple University.
Well, that's why he wants to cite the rules. We come to the end of round number 1 on Heavyweight Explosion. We take a look in the corner of law student Sean Hart. Had a bizarre takedown and seemed to be, I couldn't quite figure out exactly, like a push down.
There was grappling
involved. We're going to take a look at the action here from round number 1. Let's take a look. He did get hit with a hard right, that's why, and then was totally off balance. He might have fallen on his own. That's why he went back down to 1 knee and took the 8 count, which I think turned out to be a smart move.
And there was a good body shot in there by Savarese also. And you see Lou working to the body and to the head.
Saturday, January 13th, for Heavyweight Explosion, being promoted by
John, except for the obvious, what do you think it's been about Savarese that kept him from moving up in competition?
I think his previous management played it too safe.
Round number 2 of a scheduled 10, and we were discussing between rounds exactly why Savarese hasn't moved up in competition. And John, you had some thoughts about the previous management.
There comes a time, Marty, and you know this, when you got to throw your guy in to see if he can swim. I mean, you can learn as you're moving along with your career. Certainly you don't want to be rushed into anything where you take a fight before you're ready. But there comes a point, I mean, Lou Savarese is 30 years old now. He's 32-0, and he hasn't had anything that resembles really a live opponent in front of him.
He's only been 10 rounds one time, and that was in that wild Nathaniel Fitch fight, and that was way back in April of '93. He's got 26 knockouts, though, in his 32 wins. And again, the credit to the new management and to our matchmaker, Bill Benton. He was supposed to be in there with Terry Davis, who had to pull out with a shoulder injury. And I've seen Terry Davis fight, and that would have been a very interesting battle today. And maybe we can see it again in the future.
Well, Lou is really taking his time here very nicely, trying to use his jab to walk down Hart. He'd be well advised to work on the body a little bit here, though. Nice short little right uppercut, right between the gloves of Hart.
And of course, mentioning Terry Davis, assuming that his shoulder heals okay, and you fans of Heavyweight Explosion will get to see him against Obed Sullivan in January on the Explosion. Oh, and a big right hand over the top and down goes Hart. What is Sean Hart yelling?
He doesn't know where he is. No, he's out of it. That fight's got to be stopped. He's cursing it.
Oh, he's trying to say it was a fun. I gotta tell you, that was a big right hand.
He doesn't know what hit him.
On the temple, side of the head, and Sean Hart goes down like a sack of potatoes.
Well, like we said before the fight, his father had to drum into him that Lou Savarese was going to fight a dirty fight, and as soon as he got hit a couple of times, he was complaining, but those were clean blows by Lou Savarese.
Lou Savarese with a big knockout win here, improves to 33-0, his 27th knockout. Sean Hart gets to go back to law school, and I would say, John, a much better profession for him. But we're going to take a look here at action from round number 2, and look for that right here, and there it is.
Right behind the ear.
Take a look at it from another angle.
I think he's complaining that Lou used the left forearm. Right there, you see the forearm that kind of came close to the throat area.
Well, set up the right.
Hey, if you get away with it, it works.
Sean can go back to his take-home exam. And we're going to go up to Ed Darian with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Tony Perez stops this bout at 1 minute and 39 seconds of the second round, and a winner by a TKO, Lou, the Bronx Bomber, Savarese. Savarese. Now let's have a nice round of applause for Sean Hart. Let's hear it for him.
Well, there you go. Big 6'5" Lou Savarese with his 27th knockout, his 33rd win.
The Bally's Casino
no
Resort,
losses. Sean Hart drops to
Cedric
11-5-2.
New Contenders Boxing.
And, you know, we look forward to seeing what
Corona
Savarese is going to
Extra.
do in that big show at Madison Square Garden January 12th, and just who he's going to step into that ring with. And hopefully he'll continue to want to move up in class. As you mentioned, John, 30 years of age, that clock is ticking.
Well, for Sean Hart, back to law school. For Lou Savarese, the jury is still out. Is he of championship timber? We'll have to wait and see.
Right. Well, earlier today, as we take a look at the, wow, where did all these people come from? Lou's very happy right now as they flood the ring with women, as that must be in his purse. Earlier today, though, we got to see the former 118-pound champion of the world, Junior Jones, came into the fight at 36-2, 22 knockouts, still trying to get back on track, looking for his 5th straight win. He came in against Albert Renzone out of San Antonio, Texas, a 9-18 fighter. And it was a very interesting fight. We're going to pick that up. It's a scheduled 10-rounder, and we're going to pick it up at the Open.